Hi everyone, my name is Karl Orvik. I am the resident artist in violin and viola at the University of New Hampshire. This video is about a 10-minute guide into the viola version of, or the viola requirements for the New Hampshire All State auditions. I'm going to be talking about that. Most of the time, there's three parts to the audition: the scales, the solo, and the sight reading. Most of this video is going to be dedicated to the solo, which is the Marcello Sonata in G major, and important that you have the right edition. They specify it's the international edition. They even specify the catalog number, number 2057. So make sure you have that. There is another Marcello G major that is often played, so make sure you have the right one. Let's start with the scales. So first of all, they are all on the website, the NH website. You can print them out. Some of them are 2 octaves, and then there's a few 3 octaves as well. They all need to be memorized, so just make sure about that. Try to think of, when you're putting in your fingerings and working with your teacher, make sure you maybe have as few different templates of fingerings as possible, so it's less that you have to memorize. You know, the quarter note equals 60. They're written in 1/8 notes, so you have enough time to make a really nice sound. I mean, I guess you always have time to make a nice sound, but really feel like you're sinking into the string, and you know, as much as scales are important for intonation, and I mean they're important for everything, but you know, don't sacrifice your tone for anything. Just make sure you're always trying to feel locked in and really making the best sound possible. And then when it comes to sight reading, you can practice sight reading. You know, just if you have any old books where maybe you didn't finish all the pieces in the book, you know, just grab that and just put it in front of you and try reading it. And anything that you can put in front of you and try reading is good practice. I would encourage you to to talk with your teachers about other tricks and sort of techniques you can use, and there are a lot of them, but don't ignore practicing sight reading just because, oh, I'll never have seen it before, so why practice? Or how can I practice? You'll get better at your reactions if you just practice putting anything in front of you and reading it. Let's move to the sonata. So first, there's 4 movements. They're all fairly short. I will try to play as much of them as I can within the time limits. The first movement is the Andante, and my tempo that I thought for this would be around 46 for the quarter note. So it is Andante, so it's not largo, so you can make it move a little bit. Let me play a little bit of it, just the beginning part. Remember, we're not taking any repeats, so skip all the repeats. Important couple things that are important with this one. First is the timing. When at the very beginning, just make sure that you play the 32nd like a real 32nd. So just make sure that you're not playing it like a triplet. So I would practice subdividing, something like that, so you can just hear the subdivision of the dotted 16th and make sure the 32nd is exactly where it should be. Other thing, trills, you may have noticed, you know, the first trill I did, first of all, from above usually is the best, I would say, in most cases, just trill from above. But also here I went right in from the trill to the next note, whereas the one in measure 5, maybe sort of a stylistic thing, is if you can stop the trill on what would be the dot of the dotted note. So you can hear that connection from the trilled note to the next note. And otherwise, you know, try to stick to the fingerings and, well, I would say to the bowings and the articulation more than the fingerings. The fingerings are a little more personal and subjective. Try to, if you can, do the printed slurs and whatever. There's a few things that you know, you can make exceptions. Measure 4. I broke that up, that bowing, just to get help with the crescendo. But in general, try to stick to the bowings and articulations. Next one, Allegro. Let's see, I had this at 104. Give or take, you know. Let me try playing this one all the way through, and then we'll talk about it. There's a misprint. See if you can find where the misprint is. I'll play the correct version, but there's a misprint in the part. Couple things here. Did you catch where the misprint was? It is in measure 33. So should be an open A on the second note. Not a G. Okay, so make a note of that. The very beginning I do make a bowing change just because it's actually in the part basically every other time that it happens. So up there on those two eighth notes. Okay, and that's about the only bowing change that I make. But you know, you can, if there are others that your teacher recommends, you know, that's fine. I noticed too, this is a tricky one. Getting that to bounce, it is staccato, but you know, if it feels uncomfortable to try to bounce that, just play it lightly. Don't worry about, you know, don't worry about coming off the string necessarily, even though we've got, you know, staccato marks on the 16ths. Okay, now just for time, I'm going to move on to the grave. I had this it's in 3/2, so that means the half note gets the beat. I had the half note at 54 to 56. I would say just a general comment here, try to stay on the beat, or try to make the first beat of every measure a little bit more emphasized. Play through measure 7 just because that rhythm is actually syncopated rhythm 2. make sure that you are feeling that. If you're feeling it in half notes, which you should be, ba da ba. So you know the placement of the B is really important. I also just changed one bowing. I did it in measure 4, as well as in measure 13, 14, 15, 16, and measure 15, which is slurring the first 2 quarter notes. Just it makes it all work out a little bit better with the down bows on the down beats. Okay, and then finally the Allegro. Play a little bit of this for you. So I had this at dotted quarter note equals 72 to 80, which is about this. I'll put it at 76. So, yep, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. Let me play a little. Okay, so tricky, and again, you've got this staccato marks on the 16ths, and I was bouncing them. Not necessary though. The notes are already pretty short anyways because they're 16ths, so don't get too hung up about it, and then about bouncing the notes, and then when it gets louder anyways, you can really sink into the string at that point. Okay, I think that's all I have time for. Wish you luck on these. If you have any questions, go to your teachers first. If you want to reach out to me, I think my contact information will be on the either before or at the end of this video, so feel free to contact me with any questions you have too. Good luck.